this story is about not only the sticky floors, but it's also about glass ceilings and also barbed wires and the people who helped me rather navigate through this. So, just a little bit about me. I come from a pastoralist background. I come from a community called the Maasai community in Kenya. And our community, while very well known in Kenya for the cultural values and the strong sense of tradition, we also have somewhat of an underbelly. We are a community that does not quite value education, especially of women and girls. So please bear this in mind as you hear my story. Currently, I've finished my PhD, and the work that I did somehow also mirrors my own life journey. So I looked at the about 18 women in leadership, following their journeys from when they were young women, young girls, and through their family. What inspired them? Who mentored them? Who are the memorable people, key events that really impacted on them? So from what I found that family members were really, really important. Strong women in their family. Sometimes it was a grandmother, sometimes it was a mother, sometimes an auntie, but also the support of fathers was very, very important in supporting these women to become the women they were. But also schooling was very, very important in terms of the formal schooling, the schooling values, as well as the informal activities that happened there. And then also along the way, women who supported them in gaining social capital and helping them to network. So my story is very similar to this. So going back a little bit, coming from the Maasai community, it was really difficult because there was not many women that I could see around me who had gone to certain levels. So the main mentors were my parents. My dad was an academic, and my mom an entrepreneur. And from them, I saw that while they really, really enjoyed the culture, they really respected it, there were some ways that they diverged from it. And this is how I learned as well to navigate it, that while you can respect your culture and pay homage to it, there are sometimes you have to deviate from it so that you can move forward. My dad was a keen supporter of girls' education in a community where girls were getting married at a very early age or falling out from school because of teenage pregnancies. He declared categorically that this one is for education. And that declaration was so powerful, not only just for the community, but also for me, knowing that this was my path and it was acceptable. So that really helped me. He was also very critical at the time in Kenya. There was a group of women, Federation of Women Lawyers called FIDA. They were very powerful women. In Kenya in the 90s, I'm sure not, many of you are not there, but you've heard, if you mention the word FIDA, it was a word of terror for, issues around gender violence and things like that. So these women were colleagues of my dad at the university, and he made sure that I interacted with them. So I grew to know there was a different way of being, that you could be a different type of woman. You didn't have to be a housewife, you didn't have to work as a teacher or a nurse. You could be something different. And this was very, very inspirational for me. So after my early years going into school, I was in a faith-based school where they really emphasized on not just academics, but also being a whole person. That was their emphasis, that even as you come out of school, you should be whole, you should be holistic. So these values were really important. And looking around us, because it was a faith based school, it was a Catholic school, we had a lot of nuns, and we could see how strong these women were, not only in their faith, but in their values, in honesty, being an authentic person. That was very key in our school. And also ensuring that you use the resources and talents that were given to you. I remember they used to always have this story of the talents from the Bible. And sometimes we'd get sick of hearing it. But when you look back, that story is very, very integral because it teaches us you use what you have and you use it adequately. And this is really key for my leadership journey myself. So moving on, I went to study abroad in New Zealand and Australia. And from there, I was mentored by, perhaps they did not know they were mentoring me, but I was watching them from afar from women who had come from Kenya on scholarship, government scholarships, and they came with their families. So looking at it, it was really, you learned a lot in terms of not just understanding how to navigate the academic path, but also the kind of values you need to persevere in academia. You see the tenacity of these women. You see the grit, the mental strength in being in a foreign land. You're by yourself with three, four children, and being able to go to school, still do your coursework, still do your PhD thesis, as well as being a mother and a friend and a colleague. This was really, really inspiring. And it made my PhD journey better, because anytime I felt like this is too hard, I remember there's somebody who was doing her PhD with four children. So what do I have to complain about? So after I finished my PhD, I decided to go back home to Kenya and start working there. It was very, very challenging, because breaking into a system I had been away from for a long time, it was very difficult. So I really pay homage to Professor Wanjiku Kabira. She really held my hand, and she helped me to navigate what academia was like, especially as a woman academic. I cannot thank her enough. Not just also about the academic path, but what do you do when you get your first job? I remember she sat me down and told me, you must also have a financial plan for yourself. Don't just think academic um, accolades are enough. You need to start thinking about your retirement. You need to start thinking about your own personal planning. And that really, really was excellent for me. So currently, Prof is retired. So the kind of mentors I have are more established academics, both men and women, who help you to understand the coping strategies sometimes we have in our African universities, dealing with workload, dealing with academic promotions, dealing with sometimes the internal politics that are at our university. How do you deal with them? Do you tackle them head on? Do you navigate a little bit sideways, frontways, and then coming back from the back of the tent? So these are the things you learn from your mentors. So I think everybody has played a really, really key role. And when I think about it, the three takeaways that I can give uh, to, to, to young people at the moment and colleagues is that the first thing, you have different mentors for different seasons and for different things. It's like a board of directors. You have someone who's good in finances. You have somebody who's good in the personal aspects. You have someone who's good in academics. So you get the best from different people. I think that's quite important. The second thing that I learned was that you also need to plan yourself, your personal achievements alongside your career. As women, we don't have the length, the luxury of time as men. So you need to think about, are you going to delay marriage? What is the social cost? What is it going to cost you? And if you're going to have marriage in the same time as your career, there's also a cost. There's an implication. Are you willing to take that? So having those costs factored into your career journey is really, really important. And it's something you need to mentally prepare yourself for. The third thing is also to remember that mentors are there for a season. It's important to understand that and to be comfortable with releasing somebody and also being comfortable being released, and to be grateful and thankful, because it's not a right. This person is sharing their life with you. It's a privilege. So we need to be thankful, but also to accept when the time is up.